something the Lord had put on me this morning. And I just have to say this because I see a very deceptive spirit. I want to talk about the strong delusion so you believe a lie. And I'm going to address this as familial humanity. And I'm going to do it as humanely as possible. You got to have a sound mind to understand this. So think about this. A strong delusion so you believe a lie. As an adult, we would provide mankind or society with a variable that's safe for our children to go into. So if you're promoting the evil, the hatred, the resentment, the chaos or conflict that exists in society, has anyone stopped and wrapped their mind around, wait a minute, I'm the reason my children are going to suffer. I'm not teaching them the correct way to go, the paths to take, the discipline, the structure, the necessary avenues. Where will they live in safety if the adults are the ones at adversity to the Prince of Peace? Just think about a child that's born in innocence and purity. You didn't have hatred in your heart when you were born. You wanted to be loved and accepted, just like every child in this world. So what example should we set, or are we setting, for the safety of our future of our adolescents? Are we robbing them of their joy and peace? Are we the reason they're having dissonance in their mind, in their heart, causing division or instability in their path? I mean, look, children become what's poured into them. The Lord had showed me the enemy can use a lot of things. The Bible speaks of ethnos, race, creed, culture, and religion. Ethnos against ethnos. There's nothing new under the sun. These things have been a variable of division since the beginning of time. That's why I refer to the Bible. Many won't endure sound doctrine. People don't even touch doctrine anymore. But it all is a grim reality on how the heart operates and how the mind operates and what we put in it and what we pull out of it. Remember the motives of man. You know, the desires of a man's heart control his thoughts. If you start living for the wrong things, you put people out. That's why the Lord called people for hire cunning men. Because you're living for other things than like the rich man and Lazarus, who showed his family how to live for the wrong things. He put his own future children, his legacy, inheritance, under a curse. And then when he realized what he had done, it was too late. Like the Lord says, all this is those things, not people. And if you're teaching your children that there's more importancy in materialism or vanity, pride of life, that's why they don't have healthy relationships. The Lord showed me this. The world was upside down and inverted. People were loving things more than people. I respect everybody. I told you about the 7 churches and the religions of this world. Have you ever thought about how religion divides people and the way they act, operate, the way they treat each other, and then also all the wars they create? No, you don't think like I do. You don't believe like I do. That's why I say, think about your innocency, your childlike mannerism, before all that was even taught to you. That's why Satan is the god of this world, and you're not born with religion. You learned it in a fallen world. You weren't given that at birth. For whatever reasons. I'm not hating a persona per se. I'm hating a variable of life that exists in their mind and heart. Because if we don't stop all this hatred, there's no one going to be able to live here. And the enemy feeds off division and hatred. It doesn't matter what avenue it comes from. Racial, religion, hatred, resentment, conflict. That's the enemy's territory. And he will use whatever avenue you give him, or that's how he gets advantage over you, because you're allowing those things. You If you don't allow it in your life, it won't exist there. You have control of your members, your heart, your emotion, your will, your thoughts, your sound mind, your maturity. The enemy doesn't have an advantage over you unless you give it to him and allow him dominion in your life. No one likes to be hated. No one likes to be rejected or left out for any reason. But the enemy uses all those variables as a tool to cause division in mankind. I love everybody. You know, the Lord had look into, not only did he, when I first started my visions and dreams, he showed me all the religions, purgatory, Pergamum, limbo, Christendom, and perdition, and which variable of religion the seven churches that those exist in, Laodicea, Thyatira, Pergamum, Smyrna, and Philadelphia. He showed me all that. And he showed me how people can culturally oppress and gain a religious system, for they know not what they do. Father, please forgive them. It's like for ancestral. That's what we talk about ancestral curses. It's been taught. It's been in your familial lineage for forever, for all time. So you don't. I pray to the Lord all the time. Father, how are these people gonna be touched by your truth, or at least the love that needs to exist in our heart, to lay certain things down so we can live amongst each other in peace? And I'm not talking about coexist, because there's another defamatory thing the enemy creates. I'm talking about being humane, putting love in our heart, wanting your children to be loved or treated respectfully by another human being because you know it's the right thing to do. You want your children to be protected. You want your children to be safe. You want your children to be loved. And you want them to be treated with dignity, no matter what avenue, what culture. That's why you know things are learned. Because if I was to adopt a child from another country and bring him into my home, he wouldn't know any of that stuff exists. That's how you know things are learned or taught. So children aren't born with hatred in their heart. It's a learned habit. It's learned. It's learned by the things we say, by the things we sport and wear. I get upset when I see people wearing agendas from Satan's kingdom. Oh, Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, all lives matter. You're teaching, by wearing that very shirt, you're teaching your children that there's a difference between the two of us. There's no difference. God doesn't look at your skin or your culture. He looks at your heart, the condition of your heart. That's something the Lord put on me today. Because there's so much hatred in this world right now, corrupt and wickedness, Sodom and Gomorrah, for various reasons. And so if you ever would think that the Lord would require you to operate in undignified behavior, that's what a delusion is. The Lord says, I send the delusion they believe. Some is strong delusion, they believe a lie. The lie has always been here since Nero, Caesar, Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar. The lie has always existed in Satan's world. There's a lot of deception and lies that exist in this world. It's that they're forever learning and never coming to the truth. So the lie has always been here. It's more profound now because we have fallen away. Many will fall away to our own evil desires, our flesh, and the enemy banks on that. The enemy banks on the things you're living for from his kingdom. But we're in upheaval. We are facing economic collapse. Have I become the enemy because I preach the truth? I mean, I think people, from whether you're a believer or not believer, have to start realizing that something's very disturbed in this world today. And if it's the last generation or the end days, it's just not for believers. It's for all. So people are like, oh, I'm not going to die. Oh, I'm not, I'm not a sheep for the slaughter. It's the end for everybody. Their brain is conditioned to believe if they act out of pride and arrogancy, that they're protected by the enemy. The enemy doesn't love anybody. And that's a deception. The enemy can be living in your mind and in your heart to cause the hatred, resentment, unforgiveness that you operate out of. Sometimes the devil ain't around you, he's in you. That's why we cast out devils and heal the sick. Sometimes he lives in your mind. Satan's target is your mind. Sometimes he lives in your heart and your will and your desires. When you don't have compassion and empathy for other people's lives, you're operating in malice or lasciviousness, and then it has a domino effect in the people's lives that you come into contact with, even your children. Family betrayal happens every day. You get angered in front of your child. You teach them how to act inappropriately. If everybody's doing the wrong thing, brought as a way to destruction, many are going in, where's anybody going to be safe in this world? That's what happens. When judgments fall, wrath falls on children of disobedience. We all know right from wrong, the truth from a lie. And when all the people start doing the wrong things, judgments fall. Even the pharaohs of old knew when judgments were falling because there was erroneous behavior in the world, they stopped. They knew. They're like, oh, wait a minute. We're causing a curse. We're causing things. We got to stop before we get destroyed. But this society today isn't looking at things the right way. Whom the God of this world has blinded people from the truth. We're in end times. That's not just for believers. I don't want to be a believer. I'll die. That's a lie. The Lord protects his children. This is what I talk about, deceit, a deceiving spirit, or a strong delusion. So you believe a lie. Those who try to save your life lose it. The Lord would never require you to destroy the life he gave you or anybody else's. Thinking of it from that perspective or perception, but that's the gist of the reality we're in right now. The Lord would never require you to set yourself on fire or your children's future. Never. Never in a million years. The Lord would never require you to harm another human being or yourself. And I'm not saying everybody's doing it on purpose, but I believe there's many falling away to it. Even the church, the harlot.